Hey guys, Sean Pruitt here, president of Kingdom Exploration. I wanted to give you a history of oil prices and how wars have affected oil prices. Now, if you look at the chart here, all the major bumps in historical oil prices were purely to do with wars. For instance, in the 1973, the Yom Kippur War increased oil prices 400%. And so if we look at 1973, it jumps from $3-something a barrel to $10 a barrel. Okay, now here's another major jump right here. That was the Iraq War, 1980 to 88, from $15 a barrel to almost $40 a barrel. Then you had the Gulf War in 1990. So here's 1990. We go from $17 a barrel to $40 a barrel. And then you had the Iraq War, beginning in 2003. And so let's look at 2003. And so from 2003 to 2011, we had the Iraq War. And so you could see it go from here all the way up to here over the years. Of course, 2008, $124 a barrel. We had Bush in office, and we were making a lot of money in the oil business. And Bush loved wars, and that caused a lot of geopolitical pressure to cause oil prices to go up. But I remember, like it was yesterday, in 2009, I was flying out to New Zealand, and when I took off, I didn't know who was going to be president. Obama was running, and then by the time I landed, Obama was president, and that's when oil prices fell apart. And so we've got a red-blooded president in office, and he said in the very beginning during his campaigning years, he says, I'm going to bomb the hell out of him. Well, just recently, on Monday, the Trump administration designated Iran's military as terrorist. Okay, they're doing exactly what the Bush administration did when they rolled their tanks into Iraq, Kuwait, Iran, all of these other Middle East countries. They did the groundwork. They labeled them as a vicious group of people. They blamed them for various things, and they got America to side with them to be okay with sending their tanks in. This is exactly what they're doing. I want you guys to watch a video with Senator Ron Paul questioning Mike Pompeo.
Paul. Thank you for your testimony, Secretary Pompeo. Do you believe that the 2001 authorization to go to war with those who attacked us on 9/11 applies to Iran or Iran's Revolutionary Guard?
I'd prefer to just leave that to lawyers, Senator.
Well, I would think it would be a pretty important question that whether or not you think you have the right to invade or declare war or engage in war with Iran. It doesn't sound like something we're going to leave to the Supreme Court. It's going to be a decision by the administration.
Right.
Does the administration believe you've just recently classified, the entire Revolutionary Guard as terrorist? Do you think that somehow includes them in the 2001, and is that any part of the decision-making process with including this designation?
I'll answer your second question. It was not part of the decision-making process. The designation was a simple recognition of reality. These are terrorists. They killed 600 Americans. Right. 600 Americans dead. Families today grieving.
See how they're pushing that? 600 Americans dead.
We do other
they're pushing that
around the world. When we see them, we try to call them out as best we can and as quickly as we can.
But you're unwilling to state unequivocally that that the resolution in 2001 to have retribution and stop the people who attacked us, that Iran had something to do with the attacks on 9/11, or that the National Iraqi Revolutionary Guard had something to do with 9/11.
Yeah. So you asked a factual question and a legal question there. The legal question I will leave to counsel. The factual question with respect to Iran's connections to Al-Qaeda is very real. They have hosted Al-Qaeda. They permitted Al-Qaeda to transit their country. There's no doubt there is a connection between the Islamic Republic of Iran and Al-Qaeda. Period. Full stop.
And I think some would argue that the Iranian government is not real happy with Sunni extremists. They have Sunni extremists in their country, but it's not sort of like they're joining forces to fight the West. They actually would just as soon eradicate Sunni extremists and have actually evicted quite a few or imprisoned quite a few. So I don't think that dog hunts very well. But I am troubled that the administration can't unequivocally say that you haven't been given power. I can tell you explicitly you have not been given power or authority by Congress to have war with Iran. And in any kind of semblance of a sane world, you would have to come back and ask us before you go into Iran. So my hope is, I'm not arguing whether the Iran's Revolutionary Guard are terrorists. My argument is that you do not have the permission of Congress to go to war in Iran. If you want a war in Iran, you have to come to us. It's the way the Constitution was written, and it needs to be very clear, and begging off and saying...
So the fact that Ron Paul is even saying that he does not disagree with the fact that they're terrorists, the fact that they're connecting Al-Qaeda to Iran, Paul's sitting here saying, look, before you go to war, you need to ask us first. Why is he even saying that? Why are they having this discussion at the highest level? Because they know. They know what Bush did. They know the process to this whole thing. And who knows what kind of conversations they're having. So he's coming out here. This is a serious thing. They're preparing to go to war with Iran. At what level? I don't know. And they might not go to war with Iran. I mean, there's no guarantee that this is going to happen. But they're setting the stage for it. They're calling them out. It's all over the media. It's on YouTube. It's everywhere. And if they didn't want it out there, it wouldn't be out there. They wouldn't come out on public TV and say, these guys are terrorists. We are. And then Iran comes back and says that they are now officially saying that all American forces are terrorists as well. That those are fighting words. And so with all that said, oil prices, the biggest bumps in oil prices is war. And there's many other wars that I haven't even discussed, but war causes oil prices to go up. Whether it's an actual physical war or discussions of war, rumors of war, geopolitical risk causes oil prices to go up. And so that's why you're seeing a lot like Goldman Sachs and Chase Manhattan and various billionaires expecting oil prices to go up by the end of the summer. They're originally they took their forecast from $60 oil to $80 oil. Some are even saying $100 oil. I personally think that we're going to see $100 oil here in the next few months. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. If you have any questions, feel free to call me anytime. Thanks.